welcome back to the GC channel. I'm your host, Orlando Casares, the president and founder of Rich Law International. If you're new with us, welcome. This is a channel especially for you, for the GCs and for in-house legal teams, and it's powered by general counsels. We'll be covering today some of the trendiest topics, things that keep you up at night, and we hope that you will find the next few minutes invaluable and very insightful. So follow us along. I'm looking at some stats. Let me throw some numbers at you, see if you even relate to any of these, okay? So 31% of all the attorneys surveyed say that they are not going to embrace technology because they find that the opportunity cost to transition from the old ways to the new ways is too important, and they're not going to do it. That's one in three lawyers. 26% of those that were interviewed said that their law firms have had some kind of a security breach. So they don't have the barriers in the firewalls to provide. Only 1/3 of the lawyers believe that organizations, their organizations are prepared to embrace technology in the current COVID environment. I mean, it's a very startling list of statistics, but the one that always gets to me is the one that says that that the lawyers, the legal industry, both external but also in-house, are saying that 23%, that's one in five, right? Or one in four, that are already acknowledging that their work could be automated significantly by technology. And that would, in fact, in your case, it could liberate the legal team to do other things. And in the external firm, it could result in more efficiency. Where do you see this going? Is the threat of technology real, and can we embrace it and make, as you said, simplicity, scale, and speed?
The threat of technology is also the opportunity of technology, and it is very, very real. To those, roughly 1/3 of lawyers who refuse to adopt technology, very bluntly, I would say, go learn about Kodak. Right? A company that if you're young enough, you may have never heard of, and a company that if you're old enough, you may have thought would never go away. Technology is real, and technology will have an impact on legal departments. It already is. I think that there are security concerns, absolutely. The legal departments of the world deal with some of the most confidential information that's out there. Security is very important. Security tools are greatly improved, and the vendors of legal-related technology understand that security is paramount for legal teams. And so I think that fears about security are warranted, but I think that to avoid implementing new technology because of an abstract security fear is unrealistic and harmful to your organization in the long term. I would say so that 1 in 4, if I may, I love that. I'm 1 in 4. There are parts of my job that could be automated tomorrow, and that I would love to be automated tomorrow. There are things in contract review and various processes that lawyers deal with that can be done, probably, to be honest, right? I've read some of the studies, probably better than a lawyer can do them, right? Machines, once they're properly trained, can do some things better than lawyers can, or at least with less errors. I think, though, that it makes me excited. It makes me excited to think that my work, some of the more mundane parts of my work, some of the things that really don't add a whole lot of value to my organization, they're not things where I'm conversing and counseling with members of my organization. For those things to be automated would be phenomenal. And then I can take on that main role of being a counselor, of helping my organization understand the results that came from that automated process and to implement them. I think that that's an exciting opportunity that technology is bringing.
And on that note, that your former alma mater of Vital Strategies has embraced the FLI technology, and they're using that platform. And as you said, it just accelerates it. But what's interesting, listen to this statistic: 70% of the businesses that were surveyed indicated that using technology to simplify the workflow, those are your words, and manual processes to cut costs was a top priority. So it's not only just the automation for the automation's sake, but it's to save on the bottom line, right? And we know that COVID has accelerated that, and a lot of people now are very comfortable with some digital platforms, but still, 1 in 3 resists, 1 in 4 recognizes. But here's the key question to this, and I'd love for the viewers to hear your thought on that. The big firms that have significant budgets have obviously commissioned technology for quite some time, and they've been after, finding new processes to implement and to make their internal functions more efficient. But the key question that I think the other GCs are going to ask, and they would love to hear your thoughts on this, is has that investment by big law done for their benefit trickle down to benefit you guys, the in-house legal department? Do you see these big law firms coming to you and saying, because of technology, now you get to save a lot with working with us? Is that an ideal pipe dream, or is that something that you have the right to expect? What are your thoughts?
Ooh, I love this question, and I have my own sort of conflicting views about this. On the one hand, the technology that's available to large private law firms, technology that even 3 or 4 years ago wasn't there. Some of the machine learning is incredible. Some of the things out there are phenomenal that can help with legal research and answering legal questions. Those are phenomenal things. They're being implemented by private firms, and I don't think yet those savings are being passed on. And I think that that's in part because there are other costs that are increasing for private firms. And so there's a little bit of a balancing that's going on within the firms to try and on one hand, cut costs while recognizing that in other parts of their business, their costs are increasing. And so the savings are not yet, I think, being passed on to the clients, to the in-house legal departments. That being said, I think that the other thing that is out there, and that if I were, a managing partner in a private firm, I'd be very wary of, is that there are going to be a lot of new and innovative ways to provide legal support to in-house legal teams that could have a detrimental impact on private firms. This technology is an enabler of innovation, and the legal field is not a field that's known for innovation, but innovation will have a very positive impact for in-house legal teams. You may be able to get answers to some of your questions in ways that you couldn't before, or in ways that were prohibitively expensive before. And there will be things, First Law International is one example, but there will be companies, tools, organizations that will emerge that will embrace these new forms of technology and will be able to provide the same high quality and probably even more efficient service to in-house legal teams as what they have come to expect from their external counsel at a reduced price. And that will put pressure on the external counsel to change their ways. So I think that it may not be happening in a large scale right now, but we're not far from it coming. I think that that's the future.
That's very pungent, and if I may say so, because our audience is also private law firms, practitioners, as well as other in-house counsel, not to mention our community of attorneys. But what's interesting is as we look at all the statistics, and we don't have enough time to go over them. I'm amazed that the interview is practically over. But a lot of the statistics are showing that, in fact, the firms that are resisting or being too slow and embracing, and that are not showing a real sort of bottom line, trickle down net benefit to the client, is going to force the client to do it themselves. Mm-hmm. So what you're going to do is as the legal department, you're going to say, well, look, I can now get either this technology off the shelf, or I can have it commissioned for a price. It's going to cost me at the beginning, but then it's mine. And so then you will implement all those things that you talked about. I mean, there are, of course, all kinds of electronic billing software and matter track management and warehousing, but AI hasn't replaced the attorney yet. And I'm not sure that it will, unless it's a holographic, very smart looking lawyer that will speak all the languages. But I think it's very interesting that you point that out, and I think that the audience, our GC viewers, the GC channel will agree with you that those savings. I think the in-house counsel are going to be patient for a season, and then after that, if the real value isn't being passed on to the client, then the clients are going to say, "Forget this. We're going to get it ourselves," and then we will only engage legal counsel when we absolutely have to. Well, thank you for watching. If you would like to see more videos like this one, subscribe to the channel and press the notification button below so that you will be alerted when new videos come out. We hope that you've enjoyed it, and we look forward to the next one. And don't forget, you heard it here first.